Hey, yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah, I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey, yeah, ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra. Work with me, you know that.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast. Talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got 23K5. We got Joel, Quan, Jameson, Arturo, Michael, Julio, Pete. Appreciate you guys for being here in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have a good, fun-filled show for you guys today. Of course, got to do my due diligence, and I got to explain a little bit as to why we didn't go live yesterday. I've been dealing with some freaking sicknesses all darn year long. This is the most I've been sick in years. I haven't been this sick since I was a teenager and tried to skip out on school. I've never been this sick at all. So yes, I've been trying to be done away with the freaking, I believe, a flu. And then of course my daughter got it as well. So it was this whole big mess. We didn't go live yesterday, but we're feeling better. Everything's looking good. Took a while, but we're back healthy and strong. Let me give a huge shout out here to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, BetUS. If you're looking for a brand new sports book, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, they will provide you with a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and a 125% sign-up bonus on the following two. That's going to be using promo code YouTube150 upon signing up. Of course, bet responsibly and bet within your means. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go and dive right into it. We got a lot to talk about today, but wait. We got some breaking news. Sound the purge alarm, ladies and gentlemen. We got some breaking news that dropped probably about an hour ago. And yes, I guess it's not breaking news down to the last second/minute. But ladies and gentlemen, for what it's worth here, we got ourselves a primetime game for the Arizona Cardinals. Fire emoji in the chat below, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. The triple header on Saturday. The Cardinals have been flexed in that prime time slot. Now, granted, all of them are technically prime time because we're moving from what should have been a Sunday game to Saturday. And I'm not sure if it's really that great, but hey, for what it's worth, the Cardinals have a prime time game. And I've been reading a lot of comments. Most people in the NFL are excited about one game and one game only in the slot. That's going to be Cardinals versus Rams. And if we take care of business this week versus the Panthers, and I get it, we always struggle with the Panthers. Regardless, we always struggle with them. But, ladies and gentlemen, the NFL has recognized that this might be a potential to, fight for the division. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We got 3 triple header games that are being flexed on over to this Saturday, which is obviously not this Saturday, but it's going to be next Saturday, December 28th. You got Patriots versus the Chargers. You got the Denver Broncos versus the Bengals. And then you got the Cardinals versus the LA Rams. Now, I don't want to look too ahead, right? Because I know JG and this team, they don't like to look too ahead, and that's completely fine. But as fans and as media and as people that are speculating outside this organization, I think it's a little nice to kind of look ahead. It's fun, right? It gives you the little funness, with the football season. If the Cardinals could take care of business versus the Panthers, this game can truly be fight for the division. Fight for the division. Now, yes, the 49ers game, which is going to be technically our last game of the 2024 season, which is going to bleed into January. We don't know when that game is, but it's TBD too. So can that one be flexed? Can it just be a Sunday game? Yeah, it definitely very well can be. Now, the 49ers, although they're probably dead in the water, they're going to want to win that game. If they want to play spoilers, they're going to want to beat that, win that game versus the Arizona Cardinals and them in week 18. But like I said, baby steps. All we can worry about right now is controlling the controllables, and you got to win the next game, right? Unfortunately, we put ourselves in a situation where after the bye week, we went 0-3. Put ourselves in that situation, you're not going to recover from that. So Very, very unfortunate situation, but it's really, really cool that the Arizona Cardinals are going to be getting a primetime game. So it's going to be December, Saturday, Cardinals versus Rams. Super, super excited about it, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go. Here we go. Let's see what happens here for the Cardinals. And I've read some comments on social media. People were asking, are we worried about Kyler Murray under the bright lights, right? Because of prime time. I mean, there's a little worriness that comes along with the Cardinals in prime time, but I mean, you're going to get opportunities, especially if you're fighting for the division. And if you want to get rid of that stigma, right? You got to show up when the lights are the brightest. And that is going to be on Saturday. So I'm excited. I'm excited, man. Another opportunity to watch Cardinal football. But of course, we got to get through week 16. Wait, is it 15? Oh, yeah, it's week 16, right? Yeah, it's week 6. Oh my God, I've been calling it week 15 this whole time. Yeah, so this is week 16. Week 17 is next week. Week 18, oh my goodness. Where has the time gone? We are week 16. This is absolutely nuts, ladies and yeah, well, here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's put up or shut up time. Can the Cardinals go 3-0? Now, we're going to be diving into Cardinals versus Patriots because we weren't able to do a post-game show like we usually do. But if you guys missed the beginning portion of the stream, I was sick. So I'm barely recovering right now. So I want to kind of talk about this game in a nutshell. Then we're going to be diving into, can the Cardinals go 3-0? And then we're going to be talking about what can prevent the Cardinals from trying to reach their goal, right? What can prevent the Cardinals from trying to reach their goal? And their goal is obviously, hopefully, the division. And if that's not their goal, then maybe 8 wins, right? Maybe 8 wins might be the goal. We don't 100% know. We don't really know what Jonathan Gannon and this Arizona Cardinals organization goal technically is. But as fans, of course, we want to get excited about Cardinals football. So we kind of put our own hopes and goals in our own head. And sometimes that can be a fickle, you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. So let's talk about this game here real quick. Cardinals versus Patriots. Now, let me ask you guys this real quick. Now, obviously, I think we're all really excited about the win versus the Patriots. Does anybody have any big takeaways, Cardinals versus Patriots? Now, I get it. We're already 2 days removed, but did anybody have any big notes on this game? Now, I'm going to give you my big notes. To me, the sloppiness still continues, and it's still with the offensive side of the ball. It's still continuing. Is it concerning? It is. It is. It's very, very concerning. As an Arizona Cardinal offense that you would hope that would figure it out by now, they're still not. It's crazy to me, but here we are, right? Drake May, for the most part, I think he had a pretty solid game for a rookie, right? For a rookie, and who he has on his roster, there's a reason why the Patriots are 3-11. Like, they are rebuilding, and it's the way that it is, right? But Drake May looks pretty solid. That one interception was not all on Drake May. Like, that was on his receiver for batting the ball up, and then Sean Murphy-Bunting ended up getting the ball. Ramondre Stevenson, I feel like he's a very solid running back. He's not going to be a superstar or anything like that, but I think he's a very solid running back. If you give him a winning team, he could probably be talked about a lot more because he's a guy who runs really, really hard. And at one point, I was a little worried about this game. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, even going into the half, the Cardinals were winning, right? We were 13-3 going into the half, but they were a touchdown away for getting back into this game. And I kid you not, in the third quarter, there was a big crucial stop by the defense. The Arizona Cardinals defense, again, bailed out this Arizona Cardinals offense. And the reason why I'm talking about this so much is because I fear that this is going to come back and bite us somewhere. Somewhere. It's going to come back and bite us somewhere, right? Sorry about that. Here we go. I fear it's going to come back and bite us somewhere, somewhere in the behind, right? Because if you take a look here at what the Cardinals accomplished, in the first half, Chad Ryland field goal, right? And then Jonah Williams with the freaking touchdown. Like, what the heck? Like, that was crazy. But thankfully, Jonah Williams was there to get it because Greg Dortch fumbled the ball. It went into the end zone. Thankfully, Jonah Williams ended up recovering it and became a touchdown. But then look again, another field goal, touchdown. But like our offense is continuing to struggle. The touchdowns really came in the fourth quarter. That's when we really kind of blew away with the game here. In the fourth quarter, that's kind of when we started causing separation because we weren't really able to amount to very much other than field goals. And of course, this lucky Jonah Williams touchdown here. James Conner is continuing to be the rock of this offense. Continuing to be the rock of this offense. And I don't think anybody can disagree with that. James Conner is absolutely amazing. He really, really is. 16 carries, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was a staple point, man. Trey Benson, the more and more I see him, the more and more I really, really like what he can do for the Cardinals moving forward, right? DJ Dallas got involved because Amari DeMarcado injured. So you're going to start seeing some DJ Dallas out there. But honestly, I would love to see a little bit more Trey Benson. Like, give Trey Benson 7-8 carries, right? As opposed to splitting it with DJ Dallas. I would love to see a little bit more Trey Benson because I think he can actually put more damage on the ground as opposed to only getting 5 carries. And, you know, the 22 yards is actually pretty respectable for the limited time that he's actually getting it, right? Trey McBride, a beast, man. Trey McBride is the best offensive weapon we have, bar none. Bar freaking none. And why we haven't got him a touchdown yet is crazy to me. It's nuts. But I like that we're trying. I like that we're trying to get him a touchdown. It's obvious that we're trying. 9 receptions, 87 yards. Greg Dortch, 3 receptions, 60 yards. Marvin Harrison Jr., 2 receptions, 32 yards. There was a couple balls that he should have came down with, especially the one that he had in his hand, and Gonzalez just ripped it out of his hand. Marvin should have kept that, man. There was a couple balls, in my opinion, that probably shouldn't have got thrown Marvin's way, but there was also a couple balls that I feel like Christian Gonzalez should have gotten a PI called on him as well. So it's one of those things where you want to start seeing a little bit more, obviously, consistency with Marvin, right? But honestly, this whole offense in a nutshell is pretty inconsistent. The only consistency about this offense is that Trey McBride is going to get his, and James Conner hopefully has a really good running game, right? Like, that's the only constant of this offense. That's it. The defense showed out. Baron Browning got himself his first sack. Hallelujah. Darius Robinson got his first sack and, 3 tackles, 1 tackle, 2 assists, right? So our defense got involved and really, really kept us in this game. Really, really kept us in this game. Third down efficiency was nuts. 10 for 15. Penalties wasn't that big of an issue, right? Only 4 penalties, 35 yards. It almost kind of seemed like it was worse watching the game until you look at the stats and you're like, oh, that's not bad, right? But like, I don't want to say we should be lucky that we played against the Patriots, but there was a couple moments, man. There was a couple moments where I was a little worried. Thinking to myself, if we were playing any other team, this could have gone sideways real quick. Our offense, and I've been saying this for like 15 weeks now. They need to figure it out. I don't get why they haven't. I don't understand it, man. I really don't. Somebody in the chat, please make this make sense. Why can't they figure this offense out? It still looks clunky. So even if we do make some sort of playoff berth, and I think for the most part, there's a lot of fans that feel like even if the Cardinals somehow win the division, right, and make it to the playoffs, they probably will get like blown out by any team. I mean, it's a possibility, especially if this offense can't get right. It's one of those things, man. Drew Petzing, Kyler, everybody on this offensive side of the ball needs to have a freaking powwow or something. They need to have something to come to terms because it's just not consistent, man. It's not consistent. Passing yardage, man. Like the total yardage, 395, that's amazing, right? But it's a lot of it's coming from the ground. Passing yards, 232. A lot of that probably came in the fourth quarter too. Like Kyler Murray. What do you guys think Kyler Murray had a good game? I think he had a decent game. I don't think he had a good game. I don't think he had a bad game. Now, he made a really, really crucial mistake that could have gone flipped, on our ear if that flag wasn't called. Kyler Murray potentially could have had a 6 interceptions in the past 4 games, right? 6 interceptions. What do you guys think? I think he had a decent game. I think he did enough. I don't think he had a fantastic game, but I also don't think he had a terrible game either. I think he did enough. My guy Jameson in the chat says Drew Petzing, duh. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to wrap my mind because here's the thing. Let me ask you guys this question real quick, right? Because I know the big talking point out there is either want, Kyler, Drew, or you hate Marvin for some reason, right? Those are the three people that people are looking to, right? Those are the usual three. Do you think if the Cardinals, because right now the Cardinals are at 7 wins. Let me ask you guys a serious question. 7 wins right now. Do you think there's going to be any changes right now? Let's say they go 8 wins. Let's just say we go 8 wins. Do you think there's seriously going to be a change? Do you? Right? Ask yourself, do you really think there's going to be a change? I don't know. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around unless there's a crazy young offensive coordinator that wants to take a lateral move, or maybe a wide receiving coach or somebody else that wants to aspire to be an offensive coordinator, right? But nobody's going to fall in your lap. Nobody's going to want to choose their respected organization that they're currently an offensive coordinator. And I'm talking about the big guys, right? The guys that are big names, right? Like Ben Johnson, right? Obviously, he's probably going to get a head coaching job. But what I'm saying is, who? Like who? You have 7, 8 wins right now. Do you really think there's going to be any changes? I don't know. I feel like we're just beating a dead horse at this very moment. Now, here's another question, right? Jonathan Gannon both brought in Drew Petzing, and he brought in and Nick Rallis as well. They're his guys, right? He believes in them. You went from 4 wins to 8 wins, right? From 4 wins to 8 wins. Do you think that there's going to be a change? I don't know. I mean, there's a possibility, right? There's a possibility. I just don't hold your breath. It's what I'm trying to say. Don't hold your breath, because I know there's a lot of people out there that would want more creativity. I think how the Cardinals are going to look at this, believe it or not, is they're probably going to look at what happened in year 1 to what happened in year 2. And what they're seeing is 4 wins to 7 wins, potentially 8, or potentially we don't know what else is going to, aspire to. I just don't think Drew Petzing is going anywhere. I really don't. Like I said, unless some hot commodity wants to take a lateral move and join the Arizona Cardinals to try to elevate this offense, because we do got a lot of weapons. Like, people could sit here and say we don't. We do. We do. We do. Michael Wilson, I like. Marvin Harrison Jr., obviously, love him. Trey McBride, love him. But we are a run-heavy team, right? That's who we are. That's the identity of what Drew Petzing has brought, right? So I don't know. I just have a hard time seeing it, right? I have a hard time seeing it. We got my guy Ty in the chat, says, next year, our season, we're getting a star edge rusher. Ain't nobody going anywhere. And that's the thing, right? When you go from 4 wins to 8 wins, right? And here's the thing, right? I know 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was telling you I lost faith in Kyler, right? It's still there. The faith is still lost, honestly. That would only get me to revive my faith in Kyler Murray. Now, I could still back him, right? I could still back him because he's my QB. But yeah, the faith is kind of lost, honestly. Unless he wins a division this year or next year, the faith is kind of lost, to be honest with you. But what I'm trying to say right now is Kyler's not going anywhere. No, right? There's no point for me to beat a dead. He's not going anywhere. I just don't think Drew Petzing's going anywhere either. I really don't. Julio says, can we talk about how when Murray gets opportunities, he throws picks? Well, we talked about it a little bit earlier. He made a boneheaded mistake. And I'm not saying, oh, it was just a one-off. No, he's been making mistakes like this a lot. A lot. It's unfortunate. It really is. Now, I want to be very clear. It's not all on Kyler Murray. But you ride and die with the play of your QB, right? The identity of this team is James Conner. That's what it feels like. Like, James Conner is the identity of this team. It's you ride and die of the play with James Conner. That's what it is. And it sucks, man. It sucks because you want your quarterback to be that. But there's still plays to be out there. There's still plays to be out there. If Drew Petzing gets fired this offseason, I would be shocked. I would be shocked. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I really don't. 4 wins to 7 wins, potentially 8. I think everybody's safe. I think everybody's safe. They're going to spend money in free agency. They're going to get some draft picks. And for that first round, I was so bought into the idea of defensive line, interior, or edge, which I'm still there. But honestly, I think all the options are on the table for me. Honestly, I think all the options are on the table for me. I think all the options are on the table for me. Anybody. If the Cardinals want to go wide receiver, I'm cool with it. If the Cardinals want to go edge, obviously I'm cool with it. If the Cardinals want to go, I doubt they'll go. They won't go running back. That's obvious. They won't go. But like that guy Luther, right? Luther or Emeka Buka, right? The teammate for Marvin Harrison Jr. They go. I wouldn't be mad at it. Now, of course, I still do think edge / defensive line should be the main priority for the Cardinals. But anything's on the table. It's okay. I'm okay with anything. You know, at this point, the Cardinals can use some upgrades. So they're going to find out what this Cardinals team can accomplish here in year 3. It's the way that it is. But this game, thankfully, we won, right? Thankfully, we won it because there was a couple opportunities where this game could have kind of gone south on the Cardinals because the offense. But here we are, right? Here we are. Now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, shall we? Can the Arizona Cardinals go 3-0, right? Now, I think we all know because we're all scoreboard watching. We're all looking very, very closely to the idea that if you want to make the playoffs or even an NFC West push, you got to go 3-0, right? I don't think there's anybody out there debating the fact that we all would love the playoffs, right? But you need to go 3-0. The room for error is done, right? It's done. You got to beat the Panthers. You have to. You got to. Right now, where the Panthers are standing in their respected, I guess, division, I guess. But they're a 3-11 team right now. They're a 3-11 team. They're at the bottom of their division. They're 3-11. And they're not really seeming to go anywhere. They're on a 4-game losing streak right now. Bryce Young looks, he had some flashes of looking pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you. But that whole fan base right now is an absolute shambles. It really is. They're an absolute shambles. There should be no reason why the Cardinals cannot beat the Panthers. Now, this game is going to be in Carolina, unfortunately. So I'm hoping that there's not going to be any big-time weather concerns over there because we know how we are with inclement weather. But on paper, this is a team that you should beat. It's a team that you should beat. Now, of course, if we take care of business, you got the Rams after. Now, we already know the Rams and Cardinals game was flexed, right? We're flexed into the December 28th Saturday game. Let me just confirm. Yes, December 28th Saturday game. And it's going to be the last game. 8 p.m. Eastern. After that, you got the 49ers. After that, you got the 49ers. So can they go 3-0? I mean, get through the Panthers first, and I guess we can talk about it a little bit more. But you got a big roadblock, man. You got the Rams are such a big roadblock for you because of what they've done to you in the past years, right? Primetime. When was the last time we played the Rams in primetime? Wasn't that in the playoffs? When they absolutely obliterated us? Now, granted, they had Aaron Donald at that time, right? Granted. And yes, we just absolutely obliterated them in week, 3? Or was it week 2? I think it was week 2. Yeah, week 2. We obliterated them, but they weren't healthy, right? They got a healthy group back. They got Puka Nacua doing Puka Nacua things. They got Cooper Kupp trying to do Cooper Kupp things, but kind of goes MIA every once in a while. Kyron Williams usually almost seems to kind of go off whenever they have their offense clicking very, very good. Matthew Stafford's playing out of his mind. He had a showdown with Josh Allen and beat him, right? So that game is it's that might be the division. It might be. It might be. It seriously might be the division. Cardinals versus Rams might be the division. Because if you really think about it, the way that it all shakes out, the Cardinals have Panthers, Rams, 49ers, right? And I'm not even going to bring the 49ers in this. I'm sorry. 49er fans, if you're watching, I think you're dead in the water. I'm sorry. You're done. You're cooked. Seahawks. We don't know the status. We don't know the status of Geno Smith right now. It sounds optimistic, but we don't know the status. He couldn't come back. But a week of rest, maybe he can, right? But they got the Vikings. Even with a healthy or 95% Geno Smith, the Vikings are a tough out. So they got the Vikings. They got the Bears. And then they got the Rams, right? That's how they finished their season off. Now let's talk about the Rams, the Jets, the Cardinals, Seahawks, right? This roller coaster of a year is only going to keep going more of a roller coaster over a year. Because literally, I kid you not, everything has changed. Like, we were like the top of the division for like, what, 2 or 3 solid weeks? And then it switched, right? Then the Seattle Seahawks had it for a good chunk. Or maybe not even a good chunk, but they had it, right? I feel like everybody had a chance to be at the top of the division. I'm not even sure the 49ers did. They might have at one point. But yeah, I mean, this division is just wild right now. It's wild. So can they go 3-0? I mean, that's the question right now. I mean, what's stopping them from becoming 3-0? What's stopping them from becoming... It's what I keep going back to. And I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, ladies and gentlemen, but what's holding this team back? It's this freaking offense. It really is. Why can't we figure this offense out? Why? Why can't we figure this offense out? It's crazy to me. It's nuts. We've been sitting in a world where Marvin and Kyler still can't get their connection down, right? Is it because maybe Marvin shouldn't be used as the number 1 right now? Is that why? Maybe. I mean, maybe. But I mean, also, like, look at the rest of the wide receivers. I mean, he is technically your number 1. Like, I mean, you can't sit here and say, I mean, Michael Wilson's made some crazy catches, though. I'm not going to lie. Michael Wilson's looked really, really good when given the opportunities, right? But I don't think he's a number 1. He's kind of forced to be that, right? So he's kind of forced to develop quickly, right? Thrown into the flames and said, okay, you do this, right? Especially in a run-heavy type of offense, opportunities are slim, man. Sometimes when it's really, really good coverage, you got to tip your hat to the quarterback, right? And Christian Gonzalez, for the most part, did a good job. For the most part. There was a couple plays that I feel like he should have got a PI, though. I'm gonna take that. He should have got a PI a couple times. But for the most part, Christian Gonzalez did a pretty good job. That's why we're starting to see a little bit more of Greg Dortch. Somebody else needed to get involved. Why wasn't Michael Wilson? I don't know, right? Maybe they just wanted that speedy guy. That's Greg Dortch. I mean, he had a pretty solid game. He stepped up. But what can we do, right? I mean, we've all talked about that we run through this offense through our run game, right? My fear is that what happens when our run game doesn't work? We've seen it a couple times this year already. The first Seattle game, right? The first Seattle game that we had. They shut down James Conner down, and we just couldn't do anything offensively. It's just been the story over and over and over and again. Now, if the Cardinals lose to the Panthers, let's just sit there, right? Let's just leave it there. If the Cardinals lose to the Panthers, then and only then, maybe I will say that somebody needs to kind of lose their job at that point. It also depends on how they lose too. And I'm only speaking out of frustration, right? I'm not saying I have any inside sources. I'm just saying, oh, heads got to roll, right? If they lose to the Panthers at that point, then something needs to happen because that's a team that you got to win. You got to win. But even against this Panthers game, or sorry, even against this Patriots team that we won, we only really kind of broke away in that fourth quarter. Like, I don't feel like we absolutely dominated them. In the fourth quarter, we did. But there was plenty of opportunities for that Patriots team to come back. If you didn't watch the game, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But there was a couple opportunities. The Panthers are going to be a team that's going to have a better passing game. And if you allow it, they'll score points. We just got to obviously be craftier. We got to be crafty. We got to obviously score more points than the Panthers. But if you lose against the Panthers, that's not a good place. Obviously, you can't go 3-0 starting off at 0-1, right? Take care of the Panthers, and then we worry about the Rams from there. But it brings me back, man. It brings me back over and over again. What's holding this team back? It's this offense. What's up, Jay? He says exactly. If the Panthers stack the box and stop Connor, this game will be an L. And that's the thing, too. The Patriots, although are a 3-win team, and the Panthers, although a 4-win team, right? Or are they? Let me just confirm. Panthers real quick, because they're also around that realm as well. Panthers. No, they're a 3-win team. They're both 3-win teams. Okay. There's a little bit more faith in a Bryce Young than Drake May right now, right? A little bit more. Drake May is still a rookie. Bryce Young has kind of gone to a groove, although still not winning games. You're right. The blueprint is out. If you stack the box and you stop James Conner, this offense is going to continue to hold us back unless we figure something out. And the sucky thing is that, like, how do you have faith that they're going to? I mean, you just kind of have to close your eyes blindly and say, let's go Cardinals, because they haven't done it so far. But can they? They can, right? History has told us that hasn't worked, but I mean, we're going to have to ride it and see what happens. Julio says, stack up the box, stop the run, dare Murray to throw the ball. That's it. Rattle Murray's cage, and he will fold. And see, and that kind of seems to be what people are thinking right now, too. Watch the film. Like, watch it. Our offense can be good. It can be. It's a good offense. It really works. It's an NFL-type offense. It really is. But on the other side of the coin, I'm a little bit more worried of the Panthers than I am of the Patriots. The Patriots were a must-win game, or it was you got to win that game too, and you should win that game. Panthers give me a little bit more pause. It's going to be in Carolina, right? So it's not going to be in our dome, right, where we're used to playing in dome weather. It's going to be in their terms, right? And whatever crowd comes and tries to rile up, their team at 3 wins, they would love nothing more to get a win here. Well, maybe, right? I'm not sure if they're playing for draft capital. I'm not sure if they're going to be moving off of Bryce Young. I don't know. They might not be in a position to. But it's one of those things, man. We'll have to kind of wait and see. JK, what's up, JK? Like I said, the Panthers has our number from the past times, and 100%. We beat them the last time we played them, which is good. But for the most part, they do have our number. Mr. Fat Gangster, what's up, man? He says, no, SHIT, he's 5'9". Get him mobile because that's a strength. Putzing isn't using Kyler to his strengths. Makes no sense. The whole rolling out situation, I agree. We should see that more. It's not going to happen every play, right? It's not going to happen every play. But, yeah, rolling them out definitely seems like a no-brainer for sure. Definitely seems like a no-brainer. What's up, Andrew? And it says, our backup running back should help out James Conner. How's Amari DeMarco's injury status? Just bought his jersey a couple weeks ago. Also, I'm a Chargers fan. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. I think Amari DeMarco went to IR, if I'm not mistaken. Let me Let me confirm here. I think Amari Mercado went to IR though, which obviously means he's probably done for the season. Let me just confirm here real quick. If anybody can get there faster, let me know here in the chat. But yeah, Amari Mercado's on IR. So my guy, sorry you got his jersey, but yeah, he's on IR right now. On IR. Pete says, anyone who watched the Panthers knows they're brutal. Bryce Young has only one legitimate target, and when he scrambles, he turns the ball over. Bryce Young has only one legitimate target, and when he scrambles, he turns the ball over. You're talking about Bryce Young when he scrambles, he turns the ball over? You mean just like ball security is what you're saying? No, I mean, they have a lot of flaws for sure. They have a lot of flaws. I'm not saying they're they're a 3-win team for a reason, right? Like that's what I'm saying. This is a must win. Like you got to win this team. You got to beat them. But if I'm sitting here and saying who am I worried about more, I'm more worried about the Panthers than I would be about the Patriots. Is what I'm trying to get at. I'm not saying they're a juggernaut, right? But take advantage, man. Take advantage of the situation, the schedule that's put in front of you, and we'll see. Yes says our season is really no, well, not at all, man. We're not even close. We got to get through this Panthers team first. You beat the Panthers? Hey, man, you're 8-7. You beat the Panthers, you're 8-7. Here we go. Yeah, exactly. Soul, what's up, buddy? The Panthers are scrappy, 100%. Look at all the games, man. Look at all their games. I mean, have they gotten blown out a lot? They have. Well, maybe not a lot, but yeah, they've gotten blown out. But they're a scrappy team. Bryce Young is also fighting for his job too. Some might say, right? The fan base is not really backing Bryce Young. Let's just put it that way, right? Let's just put it that way. Or at least half and half are. But let's take a look at this real quick. This is the Panthers' schedule. So the Panthers, right? They beat the Giants. Cool. Congratulations. Actually, let me go a little higher here. 2023. All right, let me go to the sketch here. Season. All right, here we go. All right, so they got obliterated by the Saints. Got obliterated by the Chargers. And this is kind of when they started. I think Bryce Young lost his job somewhere here. But 36, they beat the crap out of the Raiders, which the Raiders are terrible as well. They lost by 10 points versus the Bengals. They got obliterated by the Bears. Obliterated by the Falcons. Obliterated by the Commanders. But I think right here is when Bryce Young starts to come back. They lose to the Broncos. They beat the Saints by 1 point. And I know the Saints are not that great. But Giants beat them. Chiefs, they fought them really, really tough, right? It's going to be these last games that I really want to focus on here because this is when Bryce Young started to come back and started to kind of get his feet under him. They only lost by 3 points by the Chiefs. Buccaneers, they lost by 3 points. Eagles, what is that, 6 points? Cowboys, that game did get away from them. I think the defensive side of the ball got a few things go their way in order for that to kind of happen. But I mean, yeah, they're scrappy, man. They're a scrappy team. They really are. Julio says, we don't need to draft edge after we get Micah. I mean, I'm not even going to mention anything about it because I don't even know if that's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, be excited for the thought, right? Dreams don't cost anything. Dreams don't cost anything. So yeah, I mean, it's what it is. I don't know if we're going to or not, but we'll see. Jameson says, we lose, then this team and fans will be in shambles. Well, yeah. I mean, if you don't go 3-0, it's done. Like the season's done. Like, and I mean, NFC West is done, right? If that's what you wanted to attain, it's done, right? You got to go 3-0. Technically, you have to go 4-0, and then you're starting off at 1-0, right? You beat the Patriots. You took care of business there. I don't want to talk about the 0-3 start, or sorry, the 0-3 after the bye, because we already know we fumbled there. But we're starting back off 1-0. You got an opportunity to be 2-0. It's that Rams game, man. That Rams game is the one that's right there at the end of the schedule. That can be the division. It can be it. Big Eye, what's up, man? He says, yeah, that Philly and Carolina game was crazy. Yeah, so Philly is so like off and on too. Like it really depends on what happens with Jalen Hurts. Like Jalen Hurts can have a really good game, but also can have a game where like he's back to back with like 118 yards, right? 130 yards, right? It's weird. Like the way that he play, I don't know. It's just odd. I mean, they're winning games at the end of the day. So are they complaining? Maybe they'll find a way to complain somewhere down the line. But Jalen Hurts is a little odd. I'm not gonna lie. He's a little odd. Let's see. I hope we get a better shot at Parsons versus him going to a division rival. Ooh. Well, I mean, we're going to have a lot of money. That's one thing that we got going for us, right? If you're looking for something in terms of a... What am I trying? Whoa, what happened there? What happened there? 1 second. That's a zoom in there. Well, let's just put it this way. If you're looking for... like, I guess a silver lining or a little bright spot, the thing we got going for us is we got a lot of money, right? We got a lot of money coming our way. So, I mean, if you're looking at it that way, who's going to have more money than the Arizona Cardinals in the NFC West? Probably nobody. Well, we're like top 3, top 4 in terms of the amount of money that we're going to have. So, projectedly $100 million, right? Somewhere around there. Obviously, I think Budda Baker needs to get paid. I've been saying that for a while now. Now, whether he does or not, I think there was a report that came out saying that they're in talks about it, but we also did hear that like 3 or 4 weeks ago, right? Or it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago that Budda Baker and the Cardinals are in talks to potentially get an extension. Well, no duh, man. He's one of your best performing defensive pieces. You should probably try to sign him. Absolutely, right? Absolutely. Sign him. Give him an extension. We did it to James Conner. Now, on the other side of the coin, I'm not sure if you guys heard Jonathan Gannon. He ended up saying Trey McBride, and that's the reason why he's going to get paid. I'm not sure if you guys, I don't know if that was yesterday's or it might have been the post-game show after the Patriots game. He said that's the reason why he's going to get paid. He was like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. Well, guess what? We also been talking about that as well. Take an opportunity, jump, bring Trey McBride, extend Trey McBride now. Save a little bit money. Maybe it might not be a lot, but if you're going to sign somebody, Trey McBride and Budda Baker need to be the top priority. I mean, you already got James Conner out of the way, right? So now, after you make those, where are the Cardinals going to be standing at in terms of cap, right? Depends what those extensions look like, right? Depends what those extensions look like. We're still going to have a good amount of money, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. What's up, Brandon? He says, if we're honest with ourselves, there has been overall team progress this year, but Kyler Murray isn't playing great when blitz. He is dead last. Based on that, I feel like we're going to drop 2 more games. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm not sure if you're referencing the live stream that I put out with when I got the Cardinal Rules numbers from PFF. I'm not sure if you're referencing that. But I mean, Kyler Murray hasn't played consistent all year long. Like, yeah, I mean, he hasn't played consistent all year long. But I mean, you know, sometimes the defense helps us out. I mean, sometimes, you know, we're put in a position that we're all in field goal range and Chad Ryland kicks the game-winning kick, right? Sometimes the defense makes an interception and we win the game that way. And I don't know, it just hasn't been there, right? Or just offensively in general, like our offensive side of the ball has not been consistent at all. It's been pretty sad, to be honest with you. Who are you going to replace Baker with? My mind's not even there. So I'm not even going to answer that question because I don't want to replace Baker. I think Budda Baker should be top of mind. I think Budda Baker should get paid. He should be top priority to bring back. And like I said, there was a couple reports that were floating around that they were having conversations amongst. Are they going to do it? Hopefully. Hopefully. They should. They should do it. Just like Trey McBride. Just like Trey McBride. They should bring him back. Try to save some money. Because believe it or not, although he's obviously doing wonders right now and putting up the stat sheet and looking absolutely great, he doesn't have a lot of touchdowns, right? Or he's actually got no touchdowns, right? He's got no touchdowns. So if there's any opportunity for you to kind of jump on and say to yourself, like, hey, maybe we can save a little bit money, do it this year or this offseason. What's it going to hurt? You're going to bring him back anyways, or at least that should hopefully be your plan. Save some money. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Got a couple people in the chat here. Bobby. We also got my guy. Who's behind who? Who's behind who? I'm sorry. I want to answer your question, Mike. I just don't know who you're talking about. Brandon says James Conner and the O-line won the game on Sunday. James Conner, for sure. And O-line, I guess you can throw the O-line too. But that's the thing too, like the O-line, they don't get a lot of love. Like they've had struggling games. But for the most part, this O-line has been pretty solid. People don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe it. They want to blame everything on the O-line. The O-line has been pretty solid. It's been pretty freaking solid. They've had few games where they struggled. That's the truth. Especially in that Seahawks game, the first one after the bye, where Kyler Murray had like 5 sacks. He got manhandled back there. But there's that. Oh, you're asking who's behind Budda Baker in the depth chart? Technically Joey Blunt. If you look at the depth chart, it's Joey Blunt. But they did just sign that new guy. I'm not sure exactly what the plan is for him, though. Because behind Jalen Thompson, which is our other safety, is Dadrian Taylor-Demerson, which is Rabbit, and then Jamie Robinson, which is the guy that we just brought in. But technically the free safety, the only guy who's really behind him is Joey Blunt, which is mainly our special teams guy. So, for what it's worth. You got to bring back Budda. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it to me. You got to bring back Budda. Can't act like Kyler isn't an escape artist. That's literally his selling point. He's playing within the scheme. The touchdowns to Marvin are largely because of a broken play and Kyler Murray on the run. Well, I mean, here's the thing. This is always going to be the debate. This is always going to be the debate, ladies and gentlemen. It always is. And unless, and you can keep either, what's the word? Bad-mouthing or bashing or come to the aid of your QB. Regardless of what you decide, that's completely fine. But unless big games are won, there's always going to be a separation. It's just the way that it is. Get used to it, ladies and gentlemen. That's just the way that it is. So I know there's a lot of opinions on here. A lot of opinions in the chat right now. But it's what it is, man. It is what it is. What's up, Valley Vibes? He says, we know where the problems are. Drew, Kyler, and the receivers. It's weird that they haven't really fixed anything. Yeah, it's nuts. That's what I'm saying, right? Well, we talked about what's going to hold this team back is this whole offense, man. Like, this whole offense is going to hold this team back. So, like, in the draft or even in free agency, I remember my guy Brandon, the Hawks Nest, Seahawk fan, co-host of the NFC West Roundtable, which we're actually going live later on today, 7 p.m. AZ time on the NFC West Roundtable. Check it out if you want to. But yeah, he ended up asking me on the first round, do you guys consider yourself, going after a wide receiver? And I'm like, oh, no. At that time, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was like, no, at that time. But if the Cardinals do address the edge position, in free agency, then why not? Sure, I guess, right? If there's a guy on there that you absolutely love in the wide receiving core and he's there and he falls at your lap, sure, sure. If you don't think that separation is happening, sure, sure. Anything's on the table for me, honestly. The first round, I would love defensive line, but we also got a lot of money. The Cardinals could potentially allocate that money to edge, right? And therefore, you don't need to draft an edge player. Because guess what? You're also going to have Bilal Nichols back, which I get it. It's not going to be a needle mover, but great depth, right? Justin Jones, that's a starter for you, right? Darius Robinson's going to get another year under his belt. Hopefully, BJ Ojolari can stay healthy. And I know we've been saying that for years now, but that's kind of what you have going for you. It's kind of what you got going for you right now. So maybe they bring in that edge player by spending some money. Maybe, right? Maybe. So it kind of opens up your opportunity for whatever that first round can be. We'll see. Joseph, what's up, Joseph? Am I crazy for still believing in Kyler Murray? No. No. I mean, I'm never personally. Now, after the 3-game losing streak, you probably all noticed about all the videos that I posted, right? Because that's my stance. That's where I'm at. I don't believe the Super Bowl is ever going to be attained. But if you believe in them, that's completely fine. No, there's no craziness. If you believe in them, that's completely fine, right? Just like there's a few people here in the chat that disagree with me. That's completely fine. But sometimes what I found out is that sometimes I'm a year and a half to 2 years ahead of my time. And I'm not saying I'm a freaking whiz. I'm not saying I'm like I see into the future, right? I'm not saying that. But like usually when I say things, I'm a year and a half to 2 years ahead, right? Usually. And I'm not saying I'm a know all be all. No, I'm not saying that either. Well, I guess a little bit, but what I'm saying is, I don't know. I don't see it. Like in 6 years, if we haven't won a division yet, what's going to change, right? Throw $100 million in this team. I guess that can change. I guess that can help out, right? But you're still worried about can he stay healthy for the year, right? You know what I mean? That's always going to be a thing. So it's one of those things where we all can have difference of opinion, right? If you believe in them, take it, man. Take it. That's completely fine. Until I see a division title under our belt, then I'll start believing again. In the QB. In Kyler Murray's ability to do it, to win the big games, right? Because we still haven't seen a big game won. Still haven't seen a big game won. Let's see here. I personally hope Murray makes us non-believers look silly because at the end of the day, he's our quarterback. Yeah, I 100% agree. 110% agree. Yeah, 110% agree. 110% agree. Yeah, I agree. Go 3-0, win the division. Maybe you look like a fool. I'm for it. I want to eat crow, 100%. I mean, if you go 3-0, you win the division. Actually, a few things need to happen, right? A few things need to happen in order for you to get to that level, right? A few things need to happen in order for you to get to that level. But, I mean, yeah, I hope he makes us look like a fool too. I mean, because I'm for it, man. I'm for it. AZ says this guy's a tool. It's all good, man. It's cool. It's all good. That's what people were saying about the whole Cliff Kingsbury thing to me too. So a lot of people were telling me about the whole Cliff Kingsbury thing. And I'm not sure if it was you or not. No, it definitely wasn't you. But I remember bringing a guy on here with Cliff Kingsbury, and that this was after year 2. It's like you either know that you're going to be a guy or a head coach that can win, or you're not. Right now, we have seen some anomalies with Dan Campbell, right? Dan Campbell is what we're all trying to emulate. And so far, it's trending in that direction, right? So far, it is, right? My question is, what have you learned, right? What have you learned? So, I mean, I was kind of right on that, right? And all those people out there, the same people that were saying I'm a tool, and that's cool, that's fine. You can't be in this spot platform and not be able to hold your take. But I'll be glad to eat crow. Glad to eat crow. Prove me wrong, Kyler. Prove me wrong. I've always been a big K1 fan, so it sucks when it's getting harder to defend him, and it sucks if we moved on, but it's a business. And that's the thing, too. That's one thing that people don't understand, right? A lot of people get so feelings attached to specific players, and that's cool. That's cool. But guess you got to keep in mind, what do you truly like about the Cardinals? Are you a fan of the player or are you a fan of the team, right? If you're a fan of Kyler Murray, then I completely 110% agree with if he does decide to move on, which I'm not saying he's going to, right? He's most likely going to be the quarterback in 2025 because of contracts and because of the progress of the Cardinals have made, right? It's just going to happen, right? It's probably most likely going to happen. But hey, man, it's okay. It's okay. There's nothing too serious about it. Like, does that make sense? I know I'm kind of not making sense right now, but this is kind of where a lot of people are at right now. If you're just joining this channel, then you probably wouldn't understand, right? Because in the last year and a half, I've been as positive as it potentially could be. And it was nauseating. People were getting so frustrated with me and telling me, like, oh man, you were the guy that was trying to fire Cliff and fire Kime. What happened? Now, where is the expectations? Now, where is that? There was a year and a half where I was just completely like positive, 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 right? But at some point, prove me wrong, right? Prove me wrong. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm somewhere between I want to have players that rep the team well and win. And that's the thing, too, right? I'm between two. Just because I don't have faith in him doesn't mean I want him gone, right? I just don't think he can win big games. I don't think Kyler can win big games. And the reason why I don't want him gone is that there's no other option out there. Like, there's no other option out there. You can't draft anybody. We're going to be sitting somewhere in like the 19, 17 spot. Like, we're Kyler Murray is going to be our quarterback in 2025. Unless the Cardinals decide to move off, which I don't think it's going to happen because of progress. I'm between two. I don't hate Kyler. I want him to succeed. I want him to prove me wrong. But I just don't think he can win big games. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. I was one of the frustrated ones too. Yeah, I mean, I'll give Kyler and Drew one more year. Might be a mistake, but if Kyler gets replaced, we are for real in rebuilding mode. Yeah, true. Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. Right now, there is no other way to go. I mean, here's the thing. It's crazy to live in the time that we're living right now because we've seen back-to-back years where we've seen back-to-back really good young quarterbacks, right? We saw CJ Stroud in his first year doing crazy, wondrous things, right? And then we've seen Jaden Daniels do some crazy, wondrous things as well. So right now we're in a really weird time where we look that way and we're like, oh my God, look what they're doing. Look what Bo Nix is doing too. Like, he's not Jaden Daniels level, but he's still up there, right? He's still doing really, really good things, showing really good flashes, right? And then you got Caleb Williams struggling. Now, that might be more of the Bears situation, right? That might be Bears. But even if I was a Bears fan, I would say the same thing. Oh, give Caleb some time. Give him some offensive weapons. Give him some offensive line help. I would be saying the exact same thing because it's year one, right? Year 6 hits different. You know what I mean? Year 6 hits different. My expectations keeps getting higher and higher and higher. And next year, it's going to keep getting higher and higher and higher, too. It's the way that it is. It's the way that it is. Some people don't like it, but it's what it is. Some Cardinal fans want Dylan Gabriel instead of keeping Kyler. Well, here's the thing. If the Cardinals were to do something, like I said, in the draft, it wouldn't be a first-round pick, right? It wouldn't be a first-round pick. It probably would be something like they did with Clayton Tune. Now, it probably wouldn't be a fifth-round pick either. But let me ask you guys this. Do you think the Cardinals should go after a veteran quarterback in 2026? 2025. My goodness. Jumped the whole darn year. Do you think the Arizona Cardinals should go after a veteran quarterback in 2025? Somebody to be behind Kyler. Do you guys think that? Because that's what my video was mainly about. Well, my video was, we need a backup plan. We need a backup plan. And I know people saw Clayton Tune's 2 throws versus the Patriots. They were like, oh man, look at those balls. Those were amazing. But do you guys think that we need a veteran to back up Kyler Murray in 2025? I don't think it would hurt. I don't think it would hurt. You can't get Sam Darnold to back up Kyler. So stop that. You stop that. You're not gonna get Sam Darnold, which is probably gonna get paid somewhere, and good for him. I still don't believe in him, but great situation. But do you think? I mean, I don't think it would hurt. I don't think it would hurt. And here's the thing, Kyler's a veteran too. So like to say like to back up Kyler as a veteran, it's implying that he's a rookie. No, Kyler's a veteran too. Kyler's a veteran too. So I don't think it would hurt. I personally don't. Are they? I don't know. I don't know. Did we think that they were going to trade for Desmond Ridder? They did it. They also got rid of him really, really quickly as well. So it's one of those things, man. It's one of those things that this Cardinals organization is going to do what they want. In the eyes of Monty Ossenfort, like he said, his job is to replace you. His job is to replace you. That's the job of Monty Ossenfort. That's the job of Monty Ossenfort, to replace you. So that's what it is, man. All we know for sure, right? And whoever you want to put the blame on, right? This is not going to be a debate on what you think or I think or this think. What we can all agree on is this offense is still not 100%. It's not there. Wherever you want to put the blame on. I don't care where the blame goes. I just want it to get fixed. And it still hasn't. Why? Why? It's the question here, ladies and gentlemen. That's the question. All right. We're going to be closing up shop here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give a huge shout out here to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. That's going to be BetUS. If you're looking for a brand new sports book, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, they will provide you with a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and a 125% sign-up bonus on the following two. That's going to be using promo code YouTube150 upon signing up. Of course, bet responsibly and bet within your means. But ladies and gentlemen, big question out there is, can the Arizona Cardinals go 3-0 for a potential push at the NFC West and a potential push at the NFL playoffs? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be closing up shop right here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As always, can our offense finally fix their freaking woes? Let's take a look. Let's see exactly what happens here. Do me a huge favor, smack up the like button on your way out, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all guys for tuning in. Enjoy your Tuesday. If you guys do not know, we are having a flex game for the Cardinals. Our Week 17 matchup versus the Rams has been flexed. Here we go. To 8 p.m. Eastern on December 28th, a Saturday game. So, for what it's worth, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cardinals.